Residents are rocked by attacks in Sweden where migrants set fire to over 100 cars across the country in what police say are well-coordinated attacks. One America's Pearson Sharp has the latest.
The Swedish authorities are struggling to clean up after a gang of migrants sets fire to over 100 cars in the city of Gothenburg Monday night. Police say, considering how many cars were torched in such a short time across the city, the incidents may be connected. Groups of young migrants from Africa and the Middle East rampaged across Gothenburg, as well as a few surrounding towns, in what officials say appeared to be a well-prepared and organized attack. Several cars were set on fire in the capital of Stockholm as well. The attacks began at exactly 9 p.m. and took place in at least 5 different cities, carried out by gangs dressed in all black. Residents were shocked and alarmed.
I looked out of the window and saw all the fire engines in the foam and rushed to see what it looked like. It was devastating.
And they weren't the only ones. Sweden's prime minister said he was outraged and that this kind of behavior won't be tolerated.
I
get angry, and you have to ask these people, what the hell are you doing? Who do you think you are? You're destroying things for the whole area, for the neighbors, for the children who may have to go to nursery school in the morning and see that cars have been burned. As a result, society has to get tougher and give more resources towards this instead of improving the residential buildings in the area. This is completely unacceptable.
Strong words from the Prime Minister, but what does he plan to do about it? Well, the police are coming together in a coordinated show of force as they boldly prepare to go door to door and talk to the migrants. Because while police say they know who the perpetrators are and that the attacks are criminal and are classified as arson, vandalism, and fierce rioting, their plan is to caution the parents of the migrants and warn them about these dangerous activities. And despite admitting that they know who the culprits are and that many serious crimes were committed, the police insist that so far, no one has been linked to any crime. It's this kind of response that has neighboring countries like Norway and Finland concerned about security risks in Sweden. In fact, experts in Finland now say that Sweden and its mass immigration Muslim crisis poses a greater threat to the country than even Russia. Sweden has taken in more migrants per capita than any other country and is proving to be the worst at helping them integrate, mainly because they aren't integrating at all. Native Swedes say there are numerous areas where Muslim migrants simply refuse to learn Swedish and instead create isolated towns apart from Swedish society. Even other Muslim migrants explained it was a problem and that immigrants must adopt Swedish culture if they want to live in Sweden. Instead, many live in ghettos where they turn to drugs and crime, and the Swedish police are too afraid to interfere. Sweden has responded to this crisis by accusing its own people of being the problem, saying employers don't have the international skills necessary to help migrants. Their solution? Bring in more Muslim migrants. According to the leftist government, uneducated Muslim migrants are, quote, particularly important for strengthening Swedish competitiveness in sectors where there are no individuals with the right qualifications in the Swedish labor market. Or, in other words, they're so unskilled we have to think up new jobs for them because none currently exist. One America News visited Sweden and talked to Jörgen Fugelklu, head of the Swedish Democrats Party in Gothenburg, who says Sweden just can't afford to support these kinds of migrants.
Those people who are coming from particularly the Middle East and North Africa, they do not qualify for work here. I think there is some surveys saying that it will take 8 years before half of those are employed at all.
The problem is so bad, in fact, that not a single asylum seeker has passed the job requirements for permanent residence in Sweden. A law was passed last year by the Migration Board, offering residence permits to immigrants who can meet certain working standards. Hundreds have applied, but not one has managed to meet even the most basic work requirements. Despite this, nearly 1,000 migrants have still been approved to remain in Sweden for at least another 2 years, all on the taxpayers' dime. The crisis in Sweden is growing. Native Swedes who have paid heavily into the state's welfare system are already discovering these vagrants are now living off their hard-earned cash and contributing nothing to the system.
Sweden we have a welfare system that everybody in Sweden are allowed to benefits. We pay high taxes and everybody gets free health care and free school and everything. And are we supposed to pay for another million people who will not contribute to the society? It's not going to work.
If the government continues pandering to the radicals and activists demanding mass migration, the rule of law in Sweden will quickly be erased, and the most generous country in Europe will crumble under its own progressive policies. Pearson Sharp, One American News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.